Hi folks, and welcome back to my channel. Today we're going to do something interesting. We're going to bring a Geiger counter onto a plane. Before I go any further, let me just talk about some of the issues. Aircrew, particularly pilots and flight attendants, are exposed to very high levels of radiation. Studies have shown a number of detrimental health effects, including elevated risk for cancer. For example, flight attendants are exposed to cosmic ionizing radiation from outer space on every single flight, and are technically classified as radiation workers. The amount of radiation exposure depends on the flight's altitude and distance, with aircrew receiving higher levels at higher altitudes and on longer flights. For example, aircrew flying polar routes may receive a typical dose of 6 millisieverts per year. That is the equivalent of 60 chest x-rays. The National Council on Radiation Protection and Measurements reported that aircrew have the highest average annual effective dose of all U.S. radiation-exposed workers at 3.07 millisieverts. Now let's see what happens as the plane gains altitude. And by the way, it's legit to bring a Geiger counter onto a plane. There's no rules that prevent that. 20,000 feet is 10 times background radiation. 30,000 feet is 20 times background radiation. This was a transpolar flight to China. Initially, when I turned the counter on, I got some weird looks from people, so I turned the beeping off. Now for 37,000 feet. Yep, that's right. 25 times background radiation at 37,000 feet. 12 days at this altitude would be the equivalent of an entire year's worth of background radiation exposure at ground level. At these high altitudes, the radiation exposure is predominantly from cosmic ionizing radiation, which occurs from both solar sources as well as from outer space. And on the ground, the radiation sources are usually things like radon, surrounding rocks, and some cosmic radiation. Well, now we're safely back on the ground and back to normal levels of exposure because we have a thick layer of atmosphere above us to protect us from the cosmic radiation and the radiation from deep space. I hope you found this interesting. Please don't forget to like and subscribe.